I'm going to answer one more question before I wrap up, guys. I see Chuni said, question, are you worried about the upcoming regulation for BTC and DeFi? And what will that mean for Splinterlands and BTC? There's a lot there, Chuni. You know, it's a great question. Gons, I see your comment on self-sustaining stuff. I'm interested in that, but I'm gonna stay with Chuni here, and then I'm gonna wrap. So I think there's just a lot of angles to that question. So am I concerned about government regulation, and am I concerned about what that could do to Splinterlands? I am. I think that's a certain amount of, I don't know how to measure that risk. I read the article that was talking. I read there was an article. I wonder if I'd have it open. There was an article that came out yesterday. Let's find it. Talking about Biden to regulate Bitcoin. And I saw an article on Barron's. I read this yesterday. It says almost nothing. You know, it says the Biden administration is preparing to release an executive action that will task federal agencies with regulating digital assets such as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. That's all it really says. I read the article. There's quotes in here, but there's no name to the quotes, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. Listen to how generic this is. This is designed to look holistically at digital assets and develop a set of policies that give coherency to what the government is trying to do in this space. That sentence is like, it's full of words and devoid of content. There's nothing there at all. It's like literally just, you know, Lego blocks squeezed together with just absence of any sort of meaning. They might as well, it's all they're saying here is they're going to look at it. And I believe they are going to look at it. And they talk down here, they say something about digital assets don't. They talk about how they need the whole world to kind of globally look at it because digital assets can't be addressed by one country. And they talk about how they want Congress to deal with it. Congress has been held multiple hearings on cryptos in recent months, exposing partisan. Biden administration is also urging Congress to draft rules. When they say things like they're urging Congress to draft rules, that is, again, it's a total wasted sentence. There's nothing. All that is one person saying like Biden can't make Congress process this issue. So even if he is absolutely beating that drum every day, it doesn't mean that Congress is going to take action. And also, I don't know that Congress is capable of taking action in the sense of comprehension of it. Like I said to Jim yesterday before we went live, Jim, remember we were talking about that, and I was like, I don't think Congress knows which way's up with cryptocurrency. How would they begin to regulate it? They would. So I just feel like this is, I believe this is probably happening. I think they're probably going to do something. I don't know that they would, you know, that this would happen rapidly. And I think this will be a story that we'll hear more about as we move naturally into a bear market, which of course we're going to go into a bear market. Cryptocurrency is cyclical. We will see another bear market. And it'll be at that time where you'll see articles like this come out with a slant to them. And the slant will be, you know, cryptocurrency is dead. Regulatory boot has you know, killed Bitcoin for the last time, and Bitcoin's never coming back because, you know, pick your narrative. But like, I mean, but remember, if you're not new to Bitcoin, some of you will be, but if you're not, you'll know that, for instance, China has banned Bitcoin, India has banned Bitcoin, but then these articles come out weeks later, months later. Oh no, not really. And so I just feel like this is all white noise. I don't think you can truly stop decentralized money. I don't think you can stop Bitcoin. And it's going to have ramifications for our space, and there'll be waves along the way. But one of my favorite cryptocurrency advocates is Andreas Antonopoulos. And if you're new to this space, you should definitely YouTube Andreas Antonopoulos. And he's a Bitcoin maximalist, and he knows way more than I could ever provide for you on that topic. But he, in my early journey of understanding cryptocurrency and the importance and the revolution that this represents, even before I understood video gaming and how amazing it could be on blockchain, he was telling me and teaching me, you know, the power of that volatility. And he was arguing then, and maybe he still does. I don't watch him very much now because I feel like I get Bitcoin and I don't need to, you know, keep learning more. But he argued years ago and maybe still does, that that Bitcoin is like, you know, the market of Bitcoin is so small compared to, for instance, Dow Jones, which is one of the major indices, equity markets, and so it takes a ton of money to move the Dow Jones 2 or 3%. It takes far less money to move Bitcoin, you know, 5 or 10% in a day, and we've seen that happen. So that is, on one hand, a huge risk to you as an investor. But he said, and I believe it's true, that volatility is your opportunity. So he said then, and I stand by it to this day, the idea that is the only real reason why cryptocurrency is exciting. That's why I'm here, because it could move down or up dramatically tomorrow. And so then if you bring to that picture a fundamental understanding and a utility analysis of the project that you're dealing with, specifically in this case, let's say Splinterlands, then you can have a meaningful conversation around the risk reward opportunity. And I think the risk reward is, you know, maybe SPS goes a lot further down. Maybe it goes from 12 cents or 13 cents or wherever it is now to 1 cent. That would suck. But I really think it could go from 13 cents to $5. And the life-changing wealth that could translate into, if you're able to accumulate a bag through playing a game, that can't be overstated. Like, this is an opportunity to build a bag of crypto, to build an investment portfolio by playing a video game. And so taking that whole picture together, yes, I'm concerned about regulatory uncertainty and poor regulatory clarity, but I think that's white noise in the background of the long-term value proposition and trajectory of cryptocurrency broadly and Splinterlands specifically. And when I set all of that aside, because I will, in my mind, I set all of that to one side and I say, okay, yeah, that's some risk. But like I said about volatility, that's part of why there is still volatility here. If it was clear that there was going to be no threat there, like if there was a zero threat to Splinterlands, to SPS, to cryptocurrency broadly, then there would also be zero meaningful gains available to you and to me. And so that's what we always have to remember when we're saying, you know, what about the risks? It's like, that's the only reason we're excited to be here. And so, yeah, I take it seriously, Chuni, I do. But I also, that's a gamble I'm willing to take, because I think even like we saw with EOS, this is where I'll finish. We saw with EOS when they got bit by, you know, the SEC for being a security, they paid a fine and they kept business as usual thereafter. And I think that's going to happen with XRP really soon. And, you know, if it was ever to happen to a game like this with maybe the SPS token, I think the same thing happens. You know, I really feel the SEC is really just, they're not really regulating anything. They're just they're like the mob shaking down these different companies and blockchain enterprises for just a share of the pie. And so, good topic. Thanks for asking the question. But I feel like the risk opportunity, the risk versus reward is exciting, in part because of that risk and that volatility. And so I'm personally not swayed by any of that conversation. Hope that makes sense. And thank you guys for everything. Thank you for your support. Jim, special thanks to you, buddy. Appreciate you as always. And okay, have an amazing night. God bless.